Inspire.fm.
Hello and welcome back to Conscious Creation. This is Jana Moreno, your host on Inspire.fm. And today I am again sitting with the lovely Miss Suzanna. Good morning, Suzanna.
Good morning, Jana.
And how are you today?
I'm feeling so chirpy.
That's good. That's good. So today we're going to be talking to Suzanna a little bit about her business and seeing where conscious creation can fit into it. Mm-hmm. So Suzanna, what are you trying to consciously create with your business now?
My business has a lot of potential, and I know it does, but I feel like I'm not seeing it. And I can tell because sometimes when I'm feeling really good and I've been, well, like you say, in the ribbon of well-being, then I start seeing new potential. And then when I'm not in that zone, then I'm just like, I don't see anything to move it forward. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So my issue right now is trying to see and recognize what it's capable of being.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Well, where would you like to see it go?
That's a good question. I see it to be like a constant presence in women's lives. That's how I see it. I want it to be a place of information and a place of entertainment with substance. And I also see our events to be like the place that women want to be in, to learn new things, to network, and to just be happy.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And for those of you just now tuning in, Suzanna has her own online women's magazine called sussedonline. Yeah? Okay, so what I would say is always clarity leads to power. So you want it to be a constant source of information and education and entertainment for women. Do you want that in Kuala Lumpur only?
No, I don't. I see it as for Malaysia. Mm-hmm. Also, its neighboring countries like Singapore, Thailand, and possibly grow even further than that. Mm-hmm. But at the moment, the events that I run are in Malaysia. Mm-hmm. The issues that I write about are universal. So women from the US and UK, and not only women, also read the magazine. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but for the events right now, it's in Malaysia.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, and how much would you like to generate from this?
Ooh, how much? I would like it to be a full-time thing because I really enjoy it. I really enjoy it. So I would love to be able to just work on this and not care or worry about anything else. Mm-hmm. And to really make it grow and spread the word around. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So still don't know how much you want to make, is it?
No.
Okay, what I would say is have a really good desired end result, really crystal clear. You see yourself could be traveling to Singapore and Thailand to do events there. Maybe you have events company or you outsource it to other people and you just show up. Could be you run the events, so could be something to get clear on. You could win international and even global awards for online magazines. You could be on the Ellen DeGeneres show or Bella TV, which I think you've already been on. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so pick out a really nice end picture so that you know one day you're standing in that space and you go, oh, I consciously created this. I remember when I was creating this. And what I tell some people, especially if from where they are now and where they want to be is too big of a gap, because sometimes it's really hard to put yourself in the space of being this internationally acclaimed person, woman or male, to fill the gaps in with like mini conscious creations. Yeah, so for example, if I want to have the world's greatest online magazine for women, right? Maybe I want to start with being the Kuala Lumpur's best online magazine for women and win some awards here. Then I want to move to Southeast Asia. Then I want to move to global, right? Or all of Asia and then go global. So you can fill in the gaps with those, because what happens is when we set our big end picture, keep it in mind, right? And sometimes we may feel like if you put yourself in the space of being there already, it might be too big of a jump, and you can tell because there's emotional discord. I like this, but how would I handle this? Or, ooh, this feels nice, but, and then you know, okay, I'm really not in alignment with this yet. So then you plan like subsequent conscious creations from where you are now, and it's much easier to stand in that space. So, for example, sometimes people want to create $10 million, and they're used to only making $5,000 or $6,000 dollars a month. And for some, they can do that jump. It's very easy for them. And for others, there's neural pathways and associations, beliefs, agreements, and programming that state otherwise, so it's harder for them to stand in that space. So you say, okay, what would it feel like to make $10,000 a month? How about $20,000? And then you go from there, and it's a bit easier. It's not such a big jump. Yeah? Mm-hmm. So that's one thing, but definitely be clear on your end picture. Yeah, how many people work with you? Do you have a team of people? How much revenue do you earn from it? What kind of lifestyle does it support for you and your team members? Yeah. So these are all things to think about. Do you have an online store? What are the revenues from that, from online sales? And what revenues do you make from events? So not just this, not just the facts, the cold hard facts, but the emotions. I am in ease and flow every day. I am excited to go to my sparkling new office in KL Towers or wherever it might be. And I love walking in and seeing my team members who all love working with Sust magazine, who all really are passionate and adore their jobs. And they all have stayed for a minimum of 10 years. I think the youngest or the newest employee under me has only been there for 6 years, right? So create these, and what does it feel like? And I love sitting in my office with a view of the KL Towers, or if you're in the KL Towers, obviously, with a view of KL. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you go into that, and what does it feel like? And I love wearing my $10,000 suits, or whatever it could be for you. And I love going on TV, and now I'm having meetings with producers who want me to have my own TV show, and how fantastic is that? That's something I'm really looking forward to. And what you do is you rant. So a rant, for those of you who don't know, it's like you take 2 minutes and you stand in the space of where it is you want to be, and you rant about how fantastic it is. Yeah, so it's kind of like what I just did for Suzanna, except you do it for 2 minutes. And there's a method to the madness, which I'm sure I will get into on another show, of why it's 2 minutes. But I would say start there. So really go back and make your list, we call it. So you have the alignment charts. So the first column is make your list of everything you want to see in this topic in your life. Yeah?
That's awesome. Loads of good tips there. Thank you. A thought came across to me when you were talking about this. Do you think it's possible to consciously create the person you are, like to change yourself? Because sometimes I feel what stops me is in conscious creation is myself, like my worries, my negativity, my confidence, and all this stuff. So sometimes when I do get what I'm creating, I have like blocks about accepting it into my life. So I think I need to change me before I attract anything else in my life. So is that possible to change your characters and to design the person you want to be?
It is, but also wanting to change is resistance to who you are now. So if you say, I'm always blocking myself from my conscious creations, it's really like you're saying, I'm not good enough. And of course that mirrors, you said, your emotions, sometimes lack of confidence, or that's definitely going to mirror it. But if you just throw your hands up and say, forget it, I love me, I love how I am, right now I'm perfect. I love my hair. And I love that all these guys look at me. She's really gorgeous for all you listeners. I love that all these guys look at me when I walk by, and girls.
Very funny.
Yeah. I love the way I pick my clothes, and I love how I am into personal development, and I love how I feel on average every day. And you start making gratitude lists about yourself. So in one of the past shows, we talked about changing our partners. It's actually, you can't change your partner, but you can change how you view them, how you observe them, your perspective of them. Yeah, so if I'm looking at my partner and constantly pointing out everything that's not up to speed with what I think he should be, that's not going to create anything good. But if I look at him through, if I remember back when we first fell in love and he was perfect and there was nothing wrong with him, he was infallible and just, standing in a glowing light of love, my, that, if you go back to that and fall in love with yourself and you start seeing that in your partner now, or in this case in yourself now, what'll happen is you'll give yourself more of this. So not only will you start feeling more confident, but all these other things that you stop focusing on will begin to fade away. It's like you change without intending to change. But if you're intending to change, there's almost like a little bit of resistance in that if you can feel it. It's almost like I'm not good enough, or my partner isn't quite good enough. Who am I to say my partner isn't good enough? It's like I've gotten into relationships in the past where, me and my exes, we broke up. And maybe I thought that he was the worst person on the planet. This is when I was much younger. He's the worst person and he can't do this. And then he finds another relationship and she sees only the good in him. And it's like he magically changes into the perfect boyfriend. And then I'm standing back looking like, hey, what happened there? Why weren't you like this for me? Until later I found out, wow, it had everything to do with me. So if I'm purposely looking for problems in myself, I'm only going to get problems. But if I'm looking at how wonderful and how beautiful and how loving and compassionate and how passionate I am, and if I'm amplifying those things will naturally fall away. The lack of self-confidence will naturally fall away. So I would say focus on all the good things, yeah? And then do your practices, the meditations and the consciously creating one thing a day. And what was the other one?
Gratitude.
And gratitude, Liz.
Yeah.
Good thing you're here. Yeah. So that's where I would start.
Yeah, that's awesome. Really good advice. I have a lot of work to do, though, every day. But it's...
Do you hear the resistance in that? I have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, I do.
Work is the 4-letter word that I hate.
I know.
I have a lot of fun I get to do every day.
How about, since I'm not a morning person, is it okay if I do these things at night? Like the practices? Is it okay?
Yeah, you find what works for you. You find what works for you. So if you really are not a morning person, I wouldn't say make yourself get up at 5 a.m. There's going to be a lot of resistance in that. You're going to sit down and try to meditate and then just fall asleep. And then you'll never meditate because you'll always be sleeping in the morning. So do what feels right. Again, this is a universe where there is no right or wrong. Just because I'm a morning person doesn't mean my partner needs to be one. It doesn't mean you need to change to suit someone else's view of who they think you should be. You feel, I would like to do this, and I would like to do it at this time of night because this is when my creative juices are flowing. It's when I'm happiest. It's when I'm most productive. So you do what works for you.
Okay. I have a friend who is going through a really tough time right now financially. She's always feeling like there's not enough, and it just keeps spiraling because when she feels that there's not enough, then she's going to get more results, right? So what can I tell her? Because when she looks at her accounts and all that, she just gets stressed out. So what advice would you tell her?
Well, I wouldn't give her any advice unless she asked. Because
she has been asking me about
okay.
how to incorporate conscious creation into this.
Okay. Well, it's like we've been talking about. It's very hard to create money from a space of lack. It's very hard to create money when all you're perceiving around you is no money or not enough money. Mm-hmm. I would say, because I don't know her and I don't know what space she's really coming from, I would start with the practices because, the 3 things. So make your gratitude lists every day and do a meditation, at least 1 a day. I recommend 2. Mm-hmm. At least that's how I was taught. Whatever works for you. And then the other one is do 1 small conscious creation a day. A common misconception is that people need money to have the lifestyle they want. It's actually not true. I've created free trips to China and Singapore. I create free holidays all the time. Mm-hmm. Usually a friend or a client will sponsor for me. That doesn't mean that I don't create money. Of course I have, lots of money coming in. But that's a common misconception. I used to be in that space, actually, where I was just pulling my hair out, like, how am I going to make it through this month? How am I going to survive? What's going to happen? How do I get home to see my family in the States? And it wasn't until I started appreciating what I had right now that the energy started moving in my area of money. Mm-hmm. Right? So sometimes we focus so sharply on what's not working for us, and then we just create more and more. But the minute we take our focus off and we focus on something we love to do, or we focus on how wonderful the day is going, or how wonderful our partner is, and we hold that for just a little while, for just, not even a whole day, just hold that space for a little while, we take our focus off of what's not working enough so that the energy moves in that area. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it begins flowing and moving. So this is why falling in love, I love using falling in love, because most people have felt what it feels like to really fall in love, and nothing goes wrong. It's like the whole world is your playground, and every day is filled with passion, and even if you experience something unwanted, you don't even realize it. You get stuck in a jam and you love the jam because you're seeing through eyes of love. So fall in love with someone, fall in love with yourself, fall in love with work, fall in love with your children, fall in love madly with life. And you'll find that your focus will be taken off that and you will shift. Now, the good news is, in all this time that she's been spending in this space of not having, she knows what she wants. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So she's going to create more of that once she shifts her emotional state just the tiniest bit. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you, Suzanna, for joining. And for those of you who are interested in Suzanna and her magazine, you can go to www.sussedonline.com. She has her online women's magazine. You can become a partner, or you can do some events with her if you're interested. See how you guys can work together. And you can even SMS her at, what's your phone number?
My phone number is 010-661-9140.
Okay. Thank you so much. And thank you all for tuning in. Conscious Creation is held every Saturday in Kuala Lumpur. If you are interested, you can SMS me at +6 012 667 0365. This is Jana Moreno on Conscious Creation, and you're listening to Inspire.fm. Happy manifesting.
Inspire.fm